Principles of Business Information Systems. Today the chapter that we are going to cover is about management information and decision support systems. The objectives of this chapter are good decision making and problem solving skills are the key to developing effective information and decision support systems. So in order to make better decisions and to solve the problems, we need to rely on the information systems, which could be management information systems or decision support systems. Then a management information system must provide the right information to the right person in the right format at the right time. So the management information system applications display the information in a format which is available to the higher management to make the strategic decisions in order to make long-term strategic goals of the organization. Now, decision support systems are the decision making helps in decision making effectiveness when faced with unstructured or semi-structured business problems. So when we have the data in the format of numbers and figures, we rely on management information systems. But when we have unstructured data or semi-structured data and we need to take certain decisions, we rely on decision support systems. Specialized systems such as the group support systems or executive support systems, and the overall approach for the DSS is the situation such as the group or the executive decision making. So ESS and group support systems overall helps in making decisions, and it helps the executives or the higher management to take the right decisions. Now, decision making and problem solving has the following flow chart. Whenever we talk about decision making, it would start from the intelligence moving towards the design and choice. Then we'll check that the decision making, if we face any problems in the choices or anything like that, we'll take a decision and it would be sent back to the intelligence, and then it would follow its progress till we'll reach the place where we'll be implementing and then monitoring the system, and constantly it would be monitored at different stages if we want to make any necessary changes to the system. As they are saying that every organization needs effective decision making, and in most cases strategic planning and the overall goals of the organization set the course of the decision making. So you'll have to keep an eye on the strategic plan and the overall goals of the organization to make the right decision, so that the management would take care of all the information that they are getting from these information systems, and then they'll plan their strategies in order to reach those goals. Information systems can assist with strategic planning and problem solving. Then we have different phases of it. The first phase that we have is decision making phase, the first part of the problem solving process. It is further divided into intelligence stage, design stage, and choice stage. Now, the intelligence stage is potential problems or the opportunities are identified and defined. So in the intelligence stage, we'll find the actual problems, what could be the opportunities or that we can identify in order to solve those problems. Now, in this intelligence stage, we are looking at different environmental constraints, for example, the resources available, etc. To give you an example, if you want to ship certain perishable items from one country to another, you'll have to take care of all the things related to the customs, to the transportation. They are perishable items. If you can have the refrigerated containers on which you are sending all those items, only then you can take the wise decision in order to decide whether you want to send those items through the road or by airplanes, or what would be the most feasible and profitable way in order to reach the goal. Then we have a design stage. Is an alternative solution to the problems which are being identified. Further, not only this, we'll even work on the feasibility of the alternatives that we have. And when we talk about the alternative, as we just gave an example, that we'll have to consider that whether we want to send them by road or by airplanes or by the train, or what would be the most effective way of transportation. Then we have a choice stage. In choice stage, it requires the selecting a course of action. Now, if we'll follow the same example of the shipment of any perishable items, we'll consider the choice, like if we are sending it by air, what would be the cheapest carrier, because there would be lots of different options in sending the items by air as well. Then we have problem solving. Problem solving goes beyond decision making to include implementation and monitoring stages. but it would include the implementation stage as well. A solution is put into effect, the problems that you have identified, the solutions that you have, and how it would be implemented. And finally, we have the monitoring stage. In the monitoring stage, the decision makers evaluate the implementation. So whatever plan they have decided, whatever carrier they have decided, they'll monitor the overall progress of it, if the items are being delivered at the right time. In the meantime, if there are any other new services which can help them in increasing their profit margin, and if it is reaching there quicker than it is at the moment, that's how they make the decision in order to reach the strategic goals of the organization. After that, we have programmed and non-programmed decisions. Programmed decisions are the decision made using a rule, procedure, or a quantitative method, easy to computerize using the transitional information systems. Now, to give you an example, we can say that the inventory should be ordered when the inventory level drops to 100 units in a program decision, because it adheres to a specific rule. In other words, they are structured and deal with the routine and well-defined decisions. Then we have non-programmed decisions that deals with unusual or exceptional situations, not easy to quantifiable. It means that we cannot quantify them or count them, that what should be the decision based on what kind of scenarios. Now, determining the appropriate training programs for the new employees could be a example for that, or deciding whether to start a new product line, or weighing the benefits and the drawbacks of installing the new pollution control systems, etc. We'll have to rely on certain things in order to come up with certain decisions. Now, if we'll talk about optimization, satisficing model, and heuristics, an optimization model finds the best solution, usually the one that would best help the organization in meeting its goals. For example, an optimization model can find the appropriate number of products that an organization should produce to meet its profit goals. Given certain conditions and assumptions, a limit on the number of the available work hours in a manufacturing facility is an example of problem constraint. Now, some spreadsheet programs, just like Microsoft Excel, etc., they have optimization features which help them in reaching the or showing us the optimized solutions in order to reach certain decisions. A business such as the appliance manufacturer can also use the optimization program to reduce the time and the cost manufacturing appliances and increase the profits. Optimization softwares also allow decision makers to explore various alternatives. Then we have satisficing model. It's a good but not necessarily the best problem solving solution. Satisficing is usually used because modeling the problem properly to get an optimum solution would be too difficult, complex, or it could be too costly. Now, again, if we are talking about sending some fruits or any perishable items to other cities, instead of covering the entire country, we can start it by deciding that if we are sending our items to these 5 or 6 cities, how much effort is required, how much cash flow would be required, what would be the decisions, and how you'll make the necessary changes to the transportation and all those things to cover the target market. Once you are done with that and you are satisfied, then you can expand your business rather than starting a business and thinking that you'll be able to cover everything and all the areas of a country. Now, heuristics is a commonly accepted guidelines or procedures that usually find a good solution. Now, just to give you an example, heuristic is, for example, order 4 months of supply of the inventory of a particular item when inventory level would drop 20 units or less. Although this heuristic might not minimize the total inventory cost, it can serve as a good rule of thumb to avoid running out of stock without maintaining the excess inventory. On the other hand, if we'll take an example of Trend Micro, a provider of the antivirus program has developed an anti-spam product that is based on heuristics. The software examines the emails to find those most likely to be spam. It doesn't scan all of the emails, but it has certain patterns. Based on that patterns, it would be scanning the emails which are coming in. Now, since it has the patterns, it helps them in identifying the actual emails which are possibly spam, and only those emails would be blocked. After this, we have sense and respond. Sense and respond, we call it SAR as well. It's an approach to determine the problems or opportunities, or developing the systems to solve the problems or to take advantages of the opportunities which are available to you. Now if we'll see IBM for example, it used SAR with the microelectronics division to help the inventory control. It used mathematical models and optimization routines to control the inventory levels. The model sensed with the shortage of the inventory for the customers were likely and responded by backlogging and storing the extra inventory to avoid any shortages in the future. One way to implement SAR is through the management, information and decision support systems. Then we have an overview of the management information systems. Management information systems are integrated collection of people, procedures, databases and devices. So if we are talking about MIS, we are talking about the manpower that we have, the rules and regulations that we have, the databases we are using and the devices which are being used in order to collect the information of different entities. Then it provides the managers and the decision makers with the information to help achieve the organization goals, since it's collecting the information in a central database, so the management have better informed decisions to make based on the data that is available to them, presented in a proper format, reports, etc. through management information systems. It can give the organizations a competitive advantage as compared to their competitors. So they'll check that how the competitive product is performing as compared to them, and what are the different strategies adapted by them for being successful in the market. Providing the right information to the right people in the right format at the right time. So different reports are available. You can format them according to your own specifications, or it is generating certain reports which are quite standard to be available at the end of the month or at the end of the year or according to the quarters. It provides managers with the information that supports the effective decision making and to provide the feedback on the daily operations. So it's not only providing the information to the higher management based on the data it have, but it is providing the feedback on the daily operations as well, that how the products are operating in this week, or how it operated in the previous week, or how it is expected to operate in the upcoming weeks. Now here in this diagram they are giving the overview of the ERP systems and TPS, like supply chain and other transactions are going to the ERP systems and transaction processing systems. So we have operational databases, input, error list, etc. All of them are sending the information to the databases for valid transactions. Now once all of it is collected, this is the central point, which is the management information system. So as you can see, it is collecting data from all the resources. Drill down reports will be available, exceptional reports, demand reports, etc. Corporate databases, internal data would be coming to the MIS systems, database external data, application databases, specialized, and all of these things are constantly feeding the information to our central management information systems. We can call them as internal data sources, which is through transaction processing systems or ERP systems related to the database, data warehouse, or the data marts, which are feeding the information or specific functional areas throughout the firm. Now the external data sources could be customers, about data about them, the data about the suppliers, data about the competitors and the stockholders whose data is not already captured by the transaction processing systems. Now we are collecting the data through the internet or through the extranet. Through the internet is that if our applications are available on the internet and we are accessing the databases through the web interface, the data would be coming from there to your central database and it would be stored over there. Through the extranet is if two organizations are talking to each other and they are sharing certain items for the business purposes, that data would be collected from the extranets. Now after that we have output from an management information systems. Now output could be a scheduled report which is produced periodically on a schedule such as daily, weekly or monthly basis. Further we'll have key indicator reports, or we can say key performance indicators, which are summary of the previous day activities, or it would help us in reaching certain decisions after a quarter, for example. If you have decided that we must have made at least this much of profit by the end of the month, or this much number of items must have been sold, so it helps them in identifying that whether we are reaching the goals or not. After that, we have demand report developed to give certain information to someone's request. So it's not a default report which is available. It is a report which is generated on a request of someone. For example, an executive might want to know the production status of a particular item. So you'll go and drill down the report and give you that information. Now FedEx, for example, provides demand reports of its website through allowing the customers to track the packages from their source to the destination. So all those different kind of things come under demand report. Then we have exception reports. Exception reports are automatically produced when a situation is unusual or requires management action. Now, to give you an example of an exception report, a manager might set a parameter to generate reports of all items which have been purchased and then returned by more than 5 customers. Now, this information is required so that they can actually find out the overall performance of the product which has been released. If there are certain problems of it and it has been reported, they can take the corrective measures in order to fix the issues in that product so that they can have a bigger customer satisfaction in the market. Then we have drill down reports. Drill down reports provides increasingly detailed data about a situation. An example of a drill down report could be that if the higher management wants to see that how their sales reps are performing in different parts of the cities. If they have hired certain sales reps which are now covering a different part of the country where they have introduced their product, they want to find out the overall sales or the or revenue generated by the sales of those sales reps. So that could be a kind of information that is usually there in a drill down report. Now there are different characteristics of an MIS system. It provides reports with fixed and standard formats. Then it is able to produce hard copy and a soft copy. So if there are certain reports that you need to present to the higher management or to the shareholders, you'll have to get a hard copy of it, or if it's a soft copy required, that MIS system would be capable of generating those. Now use internal data stored in the computer systems or allow the user to develop the custom report. So the flexibility should be there where they must be able to generate, add or remove certain fields in the report according to the specification. It requires the user request for report the developed system and personal. So if you want any specific kind of report, you can request it from the personals who can generate those reports for you. Now we have financial MIS systems. Financial MIS system provides the financial information to the executives and others. So it's dealing with the financial matters of the firm. Since it's talking about the financial only, we call it financial management information system. So it is managing the financial information within the databases. Now the financial information systems is the subsystems and outputs, profit loss, for example, the reports related to that, or the cost systems of the profit revenue centers, auditing internal and external, and the users and the management of the funds, etc. So all those information can be available with the financial management information systems. Now it helps it helps us in make financial data immediately available to shorten the analysis or the turnaround time. It can enable the analysis of the financial data along multiple dimensions, and then it helps us in analyzing the historical and the current financial activity. Further, you can even monitor the control to use the funds over the period of time. After that, we have manufacturing management information systems. Manufacturing and MIS systems are the output to monitor the control of the flow of the material, products and services through the organization. So we have financial, now we are talking about the manufacturing. Since it is talking about manufacturing, so it is talking about the flow of the material, products and services throughout the organization. It even includes the design and engineering, which is computer-aided designs, etc. It masters the production scheduling and inventory control methods. We have different methods in this one, which is EOQ, MRP, and JIT. Now, EOQ is economic order quantity. It's the quantity that should be reordered to minimize total inventory cost. Then we have MRP. MRP is the material requirement planning. It's a set of inventory control techniques that help coordinate thousands of inventory items when the demand for one item is dependent on the demand for the other. And finally, we have JIT, which is just in time. Now, it's a philosophy of inventory management in which the inventory and the materials are delivered just before they are used in the manufacturing the product. Then we have process control, and the techniques which are used in that is CAM, CIM, and FMS. If we see CAM is computer aided manufacturing, is a system that directly controls the manufacturing of the equipment. Then we have CIM is computer integrated manufacturing. It's like using computers to link the components of the production process into an effective system. Then we have FMS, which is a flexible manufacturing system, an approach that allows the manufacturing facility to rapidly and efficiently change from making one product to making another. And finally, we have quality control and testing, where we'll be testing the overall quality of the product and testing it for its reliability. Just like that, we have marketing management information systems. Marketing MIS supports the managerial activities in product development, distribution, pricing, decisions, and promotional effectiveness. As the name indicates, it's talking about the development, distribution, all things which are relating to marketing. For example, if you are working on a promotional products or any kind of advertisements, or thinking of launching a new product and then deciding the revenue which would be required in order to market that product, all of those things are related to marketing MIS. The subsystems could be marketing research, the research that you'll conduct before launching a product to the market. Product development, what are the different phases for that, what would be the raw material required for it. Promotion and advertising, how effective should it be, whether you'll be targeting a specific age group or you are advertising it for everyone. It depends on the price, what would be the price of the product, that whether it is feasible for the customers or not, and then you'll have to consider the price of the competitive product which is available in the market. Then you'll have to look at the sales analysis as well, that how is it effectively capturing the attention of the users or not. Then we have human resource MIS. Human resource MIS is concerned with the activities related to the employees and the potential employers, etc. Now, whatever is related to the employees, their benefits, their tickets, their perks and benefits, etc., everything is related to human resource. Now, subsystems could be human resource planning, personnel selection and recruitment, what kind of guys would be required, what would be their skill set and all those things, what is the training required for your employees, and how you are going to make sure that the training that they got and the skills they are equipped with, if they are utilizing it in the everyday work or not. What would be the scheduling and the job placement, etc. What would be the working hours, etc. Wage and salary and administration, all those things are part of human resource MIS. Then we have other MIS systems like accounting and MIS, which provides aggregate information of the account payables, account receivables, payrolls, and other applications. Since all of them information systems are focusing on different entities, so they have a clear understanding of all the operations which takes place under a certain entity in a business. Now, since it's about accounting information system, it is focusing only on account payables, account receivables, payrolls, and other things. Then we have geographical information systems. It is capable of assembling, storing, manipulating, and displaying the geographical information. Now, one of the most popular geographical information system is Google Maps with its accompanying Street View option. People often use Google Maps to plan the journeys and to Street View and to look for parking options, etc. So it helps us in getting all the details about the region, how many buildings are there, what are the highways, how much traffic is there, what's the shortest path to reach your decision. So that's talking about geographical information system. After that, we have decision support systems. A decision support system is an organized collection of people, procedures, software, databases, and devices used to help make decisions that solve problems. It focuses on focus of the DSS is on the decision making effectiveness rather than the unstructured or semi-structured data, and it is used by the managers of all levels. Now we have certain characteristics of decision support systems that provide a rapid access to information. So the data which would be available, it is available to the higher management instantly whenever they want to access it. It can handle large amount of data from different sources. So it would be collecting the information from the internet, extranet, from the surveys, and all those different things would be fed to the system, and we'll be able to take decisions on that. It can provide reports and presentations flexibility, offer both textual and graphical orientation of the data. It supports the drill down analysis, as we have seen earlier that it's talking about the deep down details of a specific entities, and then it can perform complex sophisticated analysis and comparison between the using the advanced software packages. Since it's all about data, the data would be fed from the databases to these external software packages, which would come up with the information that we are looking for. It supports optimization of satisfying and heuristic approaches that we have covered already. Then we have what if analysis, making hypothetical changes to the problem that the data and observing the impact of the results. So we can see that what would happen if we take these decisions based on the data, what would be the hypothetical situations by observing the impact of it. So all those things can be calculated using DSS. Now, if we'll see, for example, given the demand for the products such as cars, the computers can determine the necessary parts and components, including engine, transmission, windows, and so on. With the what if analysis, the manager can make the changes to the problem data. For example, say that the number of cars that would be required for the next month, and immediately see the impact on the part requirements, etc. Then we have goal-seeking analysis, which determines the problem data required for a given result. Now, if we'll take an example, a financial manager might be considering an investment with a certain monthly net income, and the manager might have a goal to earn a return of, for example, 9% on the investment. Now, goal seeking allows the manager to determine what monthly net income is needed to yield a return of 9%. Some spreadsheets can be used for the goal seeking analysis, etc., and other tools are there also which helps us in that. Now, simulation is the ability of the DSS to duplicate the features of a real system. Now, corporate executives, for example, can try different marketing decisions under various market conditions. Military commanders often use computer games to fine-tune their military strategies in different warfare conditions. So all of these are the examples of simulations. Now, the capabilities of a decision support system, it supports the problem solving in different phases. It supports different decisions frequencies, for example, ad hoc, and ad hoc is concerned with the situations or decisions that come up only few times during the life of the organization. For example, a company might need to change the layout of its open plan offices. Repetitive decisions are addressed by an institutional DSS. Now, institutional DSS is a DSS that handles the situations or decisions that occur more than once. Usually several times per year, an institution DSS is used repeatedly and refined over the years till it is mature enough. For example, we can see the usage of DSS. It is used to assist the help desk staff to solve the problems of the employees and the computer problems and the queries that they are facing on day-to-day basis. Then we have support for different problem structures, for example, highly structured problems. Now, highly structured problems are the problems for which we have the data available, and if we define highly structured problems, these are the problems which are straightforward and require known facts and relationships to make certain decisions. Then we have semi-structured or unstructured problems, more complex problems in which the relationships between the pieces of data are not always clear. The data might be in a variety of formats, and the data is often difficult to manipulate and to obtain. In addition to that, the decision maker might not know the information requirements of the decisions in advance. Then it supports various decision making levels. And then if we are talking about the different components of a DSS, first of all, we have databases, and then we have a model base. As we know, database is a collection of records and tables, all the information which is fed to the system. So it is calculating, or it is maintaining all the information about the different data feeds which is coming to it. Now we have a model base. A model base is part of DSS that provide decision makers with access to variety of models and assist them in decision making. The model base actually gives decision makers the access to variety of models so that they can explore different scenarios to see their effects. Ultimately, it assists them in decision making process. Now, if they want to check the data based on certain models, they'll feed it in the system, and then they'll try to see the outcome of it. To give you an example, if for example you have a data of students which is fed in the system, you want to calculate their results based on the average, based on a standard format or based on standard deviation. So the data would be entered to the system, and it would show us results on all different models and what would be the output of it, so that the decision makers can take better decisions on the overall grading process. Then we have a dialog manager. It is a user interface that allows the decision makers to easily access and manipulate the DSS. Means that it's an interface to manage the decision support systems. It uses commonly business terms and phrases, and then it access to the internet networks and other computer-based systems. The database is the management system, allows the managers and decision makers to perform quantitative and qualitative analysis on the data stored in the computer database, data warehouse, and data marts. It can also be used to connect to external databases. The model base again provides the decision makers with the access to the variety of models and assist them in decision making. As I have already explained, it allows them to perform the quantitative analysis on both internal and external data. Now we have the user interface and the dialog manager. It allows the user to interact with the DSS to obtain the information and assist with all the aspects of the communication between the user, hardware and software in order to provide the information or to constitute to a DSS. Now we have group support systems. It consists of most of the elements in a DSS plus a software to provide effective support in group decision making. It's also called a group decision support system as a computerized collaborative work where people are using it to reach a decision or to reach a final settlement. The DSS approach has resulted in better decision making for all levels of individual users. However, many DSS approaches and techniques are not suitable for the group decision making environment. Although not all workers and managers are involved in a committee meeting or a group decision making session, some technical and strategic managers can spend more than half of their decision making time in a group setting, etc. Such managers need the assistance with group and decision making tools, etc. To give you an example, you might have seen Google Sheets that could be used to create basic group support systems. A Google Sheet spreadsheet has all of its essential elements of a DSS plus the ability for multiple users to communicate by text to each other or while using it. Now after that, we have characteristics of GSS. It supports for defining the overall vision. It helps in support for strategic planning, determining the long-term objectives through the analysis of the current organization and prediction of the future trends. So it helps us by showing the future trends of it in order to make certain decision. It support for strategic organization and staffing requirements, etc. For the strategic control and the crisis management. Now the most important thing in this one is in the decision making support, and it's really important to know about the brainstorming at this stage. A decision making approach that often consists of members offering ideas off the top of their heads. Decision making is a GSS can support different decision making approaches such as brainstorming, group consensus approach, or the nominal group approach. Now, a group consensus approach is a decision-making approach that forces the members in a group to reach a unanimous decision. Then we have a nominal group technique. It is a decision-making approach that encourages the feedback from individual group members, and the final decision is made by voting. Similarly, the way that the public officials are elected, etc. So that's also a part of group support systems. The other benefits of it is that it's very easy to use, it's highly flexible, it helps in decision making, and it helps in anonymous input. For example, if someone don't want to show their identity but they are a part of a voting process, so it would be 100% anonymous that who's taking what decision. Reduction of the negative group behavior, that it helps us in reducing that. Then it helps in parallel communication and automated record keeping as well. After that, we have executive support systems. They are the specialized decision support system, include hardware, data, procedures, people, and used for the executive and senior level executives, also called the executive information systems. Now they are tailored to individuals, and executives are typically tailored for executive. DSS are not tailored to be for particular or the normal users. They present information in the preferred format of that which the executives would require. They are easy to use, have drill down abilities as well. It support the need for the external data that if it is required, it would be fetched from there. It can help with situations that have high degree of uncertainty. Then it can even help in future orientation. Executive decisions are the future oriented, meaning that the decisions will have a broad impact on the years or the decades on the organization itself, and they are also linked with the value added business processes. Like other information systems, executive support systems are linked with executive decision making about the value added business processes. Now these are some of the characteristics as we have already covered. Then we have different capabilities of ESS. To sum up, we can say that it supports defining the overall decision, support for strategic planning and determining the long-term objective through analysis of the current organization and predictive future trends, supports strategic organization and the staffing requirements. We have covered it already, but it's also part of executive support systems also. It supports the strategic control and support of the crisis management. Now we know that even with careful strategic planning, a crisis can occur. Major disasters including the hurricanes, tornadoes, floods or earthquakes, etc., pandemic, all those things, etc., could be one of the reasons that can totally shut down the major parts of the organization. Handling these emergencies is another responsibility for the top level management. In many cases, strategic emergency plans can be put into place with the help of the executive support systems, and these contingency plans help the organization recover quickly if an emergency or the crisis occurs. And that brings us to the end of the chapter. And to sum up, it's a decision making phase in which it includes the intelligence, decision making, problem solving process. Then we talked about management information systems and financial information systems. We even covered manufacturing, which is taking care of the manufacturing process. Marketing is taking care of the product development, distribution, etc. Human resource management is concerned about the activities related to employees, and the accounting systems are responsible for accounting payable, account receivable, geographical information systems, and then we have decision support systems. Group support systems consist of most elements in a DSS, and executive support systems are specialized DSS that include all hardware, software, data, procedures, people, and are used to assist the senior level executives. So that brings us to the end of chapter, which is talking about management information and decision support systems. That's it for today. Thank you very much.